Any other, yes, in the back of the hat.
Was there ever an anime you got done with, and if I figured out why and does he not do that?
I once did, not an anime, but I once did a live action Japanese police movie. And they were interrogating somebody or whatever. And it was just dreadful. It was like a bad cop show, and it was like, oh, that was just, I can't remember what it was called, but, sometimes when I'm tweaking my resume, looking through some of the shows I've worked on, I look down the list and go, what was that? I don't remember that. You sort of just erase it from your mind, We've all made those kinds of choices, I think, in life, right?
Okay. When you were young, what was your first or your favorite retro game you played when you were young and around?
I still got my Atari 2600.
Yeah!
My original Atari 2600 with about 50 games. And I think it was Adventure.
Woo! What was it called? Adventure?
Yes, because I knew how to place the little white ring in the last dungeon thing and hack the game. Look it up.
Okay.
I've got my original 2600 NES, Genesis 32X, when they reached release due. Got all that stuff. I don't have Super Nintendo. I didn't have that stupid robot either. But I got my Xbox, my PS1. But I'll tell you, here's a Gaming Geek story, and I think that's it. We got a couple more minutes. So way before there was online play, okay, I had a house that was. I lived on an apartment that was long, like a railroad flat, so all the rooms were all in a row, okay? And in the living room, I had a TV with picture-in-picture. And in the bedroom, I had a TV with picture-in-picture. And me and my buddy each had a PlayStation before they were called PS1s. And I went out and bought a link cable. And what I did was, I sent the video from his game to the picture-in-picture on my TV, and the video from my game to the picture-in-picture on his TV. And we sat in the same house. I couldn't see his TV, he couldn't see mine. But we saw what each other saw in the top picture-in-picture. And we played like that. So, you want to talk about Gamer Geek? Yeah, I still got that setup. You know what I mean? Gamer Geek. All right, so we got a couple more minutes before the end of this, and so yeah.
Charizard or Blastoise?
Oh, I don't know. Charizard would kick Blastoise' butt, don't you think?
No.
Height disadvantage. Water gun? Ha!
Well, Blastoise has cannons, though.
Yeah, I would still pick Squirtle. All right, what else we got? Any more cues? Yep.
What's the strangest question a fan has asked you at a con?
A legal question? The strangest question that someone's asked me at a con? There's a lot. There's a long list. I don't know, usually it's about things like, why did your character do that? Why did Kaiba do that in that, why were you so mean to Yugi? I'm the actor. I read what was on the page. That was written by the guy that wrote the script. And followed the animation from the guy that drew the picture. Yeah, so those are things, it's like, I'm not responsible for that at all. So that was usually a strange question.
So how many of those songs from Pokemon, from how many of those songs were you actually singing?
I only sang Double Trouble, Two Perfect Girls, Pokemon Christmas Bash, the Yu-Gi-Oh song, then not the theme, the Yu-Gi-Oh song on the Music to Duel Live.
The Two Perfect Girls was really the only one I need to know if you were actually singing.
Yeah, and here's in the live show, because that's when they started to really write songs for this series. I'm the only voice actor singing on the cast album. Everyone else is from the live cast. I am the only voice actor singing that because the producer who wrote that song liked my real Brock as opposed to the live guy who sang it in the show. I saw him sing it live, but on the album it's me. Anything else?
So for someone who's interested in voice dubbing and anything, what do you think it's I guess the most important advice you give someone who wants to
The most important advice, we talked about this a little bit last night. I think that you need to be around the people that are doing the business, and so that you're actually absorbing the knowledge. We talked about maybe going and finding an internship at a recording studio that does commercial voiceovers mostly, a radio station where they're doing voice work. You need to be around. I said this last night, that being an apprentice is a lost art. You learn more from working alongside a professional than you do going to school, listening to a professional tell you. Just because you're there, you're in the trenches with them. You know, if you could spend a week with me, you know, working in my studio, even if you were just making coffee, but at least in the same room with me, picking up on how I'm talking to actors or how I'm reading scripts or dubbing stuff, you'd be like, oh man, I never even knew that that's how it works. I never even knew that. That's probably the most important way to get into it. I think you have to experience it, because you all have different versions in your brain of what we do. You've seen the videos of us in the booth acting and taking direction on behind the scenes stuff and whatever. Some of that stuff is staged, some of it is not. But you just, you know, I said it last night, you want to be a great carpenter, you're going to go ask a guy or a girl who's a carpenter and say, can I clean the shop at the end of the day? Can I just work alongside, watch you work? You're going to watch and learn. Oh, there you go.
What color is Brock's eyes?
You did all see that one episode where they opened them, right? That scared the crap out of me.
Spoil it, I haven't seen it.
I won't spoil it.
3 years ago, it's not spoiled.
Yeah. It's pretty scary. And it was funny too, because when they opened and freaked everyone out, there's another one of those debates where we get it from the creatives from the original Japanese. We go, why are you opening his eyes? It's about time. I don't think you should do this. Trust us, we know what we're doing. They opened the eyes and they were like, everyone freaked out. We're closing the eyes again. Why? Because we decided to. Okay. What do we got? 4 minutes. Let's do a speed round. Yes.
Okay. So you get a blank check from, like, say, Funimation or whatever. You get to make your own show, all paid for. You are executive producer, head writer, head everything. Except you have to do the voices for every single character. What show would you make?
What kind of show?
Yeah, like.
Oh, it'd be a comedy show.
Okay.
It would be funny. It would be funny. I've worked on so many startup ideas. Some are stupid, and some are brilliant that don't go anywhere. I just think that there's a formula to what is successful, especially in cartoons. Why are there so many Pokemon-style shows where you have, as we talked about, comedic bad guys, teamwork of the good characters, the characters you like, that you want to like. You might not like them all, but you have a favorite. Is that moral important? A lot of times it is. Even in some of the funniest shows, at the end of it, there's still some touching moments every once in a while. And you go like, yeah, because he's a good guy, or they're really friends. He's protecting him. All of those things, if you follow those things, then you're going to have a successful show. But you also have to make people laugh. And I think that we're very lucky to work in an industry where, I'm not outside digging a ditch all day long. And if you dig a ditch for a living and that's what you do, that's great. But I couldn't do that. If I make you laugh and you come up to me and ask me to sign something because you grew up watching it, or this is your favorite line, it made you laugh, that's cool. I mean, as long as there is a history of entertainment, when someone says Pokemon, they're going to know what you're talking about. And to be involved in a show that was so popular, that really put anime on the map for a lot of things, that's kind of cool to say, I was 2 main characters in that show for 10 years. So I would want to do something that used the same formula that's so successful of what worked. So I think that's it. Oh! guys saw recently, there's been this whole big thing about like Bandai not doing, releasing any more anime and stuff like that because of pirating and stuff like that. It's interesting. This is we love the new technology that we all have now. Your iPhone, your iPad, all that stuff. We love it. It's immediate. It's all great. The flip side of all of that stuff is that the more you guys share and quote unquote steal and do with it because it's accessible, the less there's going to be of it. Now, I use music as an example because that's how that's what I do. Okay, so I'm an independent guy. You buy one of my CDs today, you give me $10. I probably made $2 on it. Okay, you share it with 100 of your friends, you've taken away a huge portion of my budget. Now, I think with the way the music is going and all of this stuff is going, that stuff becomes a calling card it's your business card. If I give you my music for free, or it's accessible, maybe you'll come see my concert. Maybe you'll buy my t-shirts. Maybe you'll support me in other projects I'm working in. So the music industry has been so, yeah, let's do iTunes, let's do it, let's share the stuff, and now we're getting the backside of that, which is the industry is going downhill, people don't pay for music anymore, CD sales, just today, digital downloads profited CD sales for the first time in history. That was in the news this morning, okay? Same thing with anime. Anime never makes anyone money unless you're working on a national network scale like a Pokemon or a Yu-Gi-Oh! It's never going to make a lot of money. So if these things start to continue to be shared without being paid for, you're not going to have the people making it anymore. And you guys need to go, why'd they stop that season? Why'd they stop that series? It was such a good series. Because no one made money. They sold 5% of what they normally sold. So you just have to be aware. Now, I'm not saying, hey, when you guys buy something you want to lend it to your friends or do that sort of stuff. That's what we've all done. I remember back in the day making cassette tapes for my buddies off of songs of my favorite records, right? If you all remember what a cassette is. So just be aware of that we love this stuff, but with it, we can videotape anything. We can rip a movie and share a DVD of a film, that independent movie that somebody might have, poured their heart and soul in their last bit of their money. But if you all share instead of go and see it, even if that thing was only going to make $10,000, they're never going to make another movie because they can't afford to anymore. So just be aware of this. And I'm not trying to preach to you about it. I'm just alerting you to how it really works. So if you love your anime, buy it. All right, let's make a last question, then I'm done. I don't know the song. I don't know that stuff by heart.
You can find it on your phone.
Exactly. I can find it on my phone. And the last thing I'm going to tell you guys is, as I said, I'm doing a concert tonight. It's a solo acoustic show. I'd love to play some of my music live so you get a sense of what I do. And you can find me on Facebook. It's just Eric Stewart, and you'll see my ugly mug. You'll know you found the right guy. But we're in the process of working on our new album, and we started a Kickstarter page. If you guys aren't familiar with Kickstarter, we're trying to finance our new album that way. And as I said to you, if you want to help independent artists, voice actors, all of that stuff, because we're not making a shitload of money, sorry for the profanity, these are the kinds of things, if you want to use the social network sites for a good cause, even if it's $1 that you donate towards us, that goes a long way. All right? Thanks, guys. All right?